My name is Rachel Miller. I've always thought of myself as a simple woman. When I was 43, my life was pretty good. I taught English at a high school, had two grown children, and had been divorced for almost 5 years. My days were planned out with lesson plans, coffee breaks, and evenings spent curled up with a good book. Everything was normal until the weekend when my son brought home his college friend. Ethan, my oldest son, was home from college for spring break. He was 20 years old and always full of life. He brought along his friend Tyler, who had nowhere else to go during the break. Tyler was polite, respectful, and genuinely charming. I had met him during Ethan's freshman year and remember thinking how mature he seemed for someone so young. I never thought I'd be sitting here today thinking about what happened that week. The first few days were normal. The boys stayed up late playing video games, raided the fridge like hungry wolves, and lounged around the house in basketball shorts and hoodies. I kept myself busy by cooking meals and giving them time to enjoy their break. Tyler always thanked me for dinner, helped clean up, and made small talk that seemed harmless at first. But then he started complimenting me. One night after dinner, Tyler stood next to me at the sink while I washed dishes and said, "You really don't look old enough to be Ethan's mum." I laughed and told him, "You know that flattery will get you more dessert." He smiled. "I'm just being honest, you've got great energy, it's refreshing." I tried not to read too much into it. I was used to high school boys making awkward comments in class. Tyler wasn't a child. He was 20 years old, just 3 years older than my youngest. There was something different in his eyes, a focus that lingered just a second too long that night. I couldn't sleep. I lay in bed staring at the ceiling, wondering if I was seeing things. I told myself he was just being polite, but I still couldn't get rid of the way he looked at me. I caught Tyler making coffee in the kitchen the next morning. He turned and smiled, his eyes moving up and down a bit too much. "Good morning, Mrs. Miller," he said easily. "Hope I didn't wake you." "No, I was already up," I said, pulling the belt on my robe tighter. "And it's Rachel. Don't be so formal." "Rachel," he said over and over, letting the word seem more important than it really was. "It suits you." "Where is Ethan?" I asked as I cleared my throat and turned my attention to the toaster. "Still passed out," he added. "I think we played games until like 3 a.m. I agreed and took a plate. Tyler leaned against the bar and looked at me for a second. "You do everything around here, right?" As a mum, I said, "That's kind of what mums do." "Yeah, but most mums I know don't do it like you do," he said with a smirk. I looked at him. Tyler quickly said, "I'm sorry, I know it's probably weird, but whatever." I didn't push any further. I told myself it would pass, but as the days went by, Tyler's attention grew stronger. One afternoon, Ethan went out to meet a high school friend, and Tyler stayed home, saying he wanted to rest. I was folding laundry in the living room when he walked in and asked, "Do you need help?" I looked up and replied, "No thanks." He came over anyway, sat down next to me, and began folding a t-shirt. We did this for a few minutes without talking before he did it again. "I've been thinking about something," he said quietly. I looked at him curious. "I know this might sound crazy, but I felt something. Since the first time I met you, I didn't say anything before because, well, it felt wrong, but I can't keep pretending." Tyler said, "I like you, Tyler. Not in a weird way, not because you're older or because you're Ethan's mum. I just like you because you're smart, funny, beautiful, and you make this house feel like a real home." My heart was racing. "You're Ethan's friend." I told them in a whisper, "I know I'm going to mess things up, but I had to be honest." They stood up and took a deep breath. "Thank you for being honest. Tyler, this isn't appropriate. You're welcome in this home, but let's keep things polite." I walked away before I could say anything else because I needed space and time to think. Why did his words hurt me so much? Was it because no one had said anything like that to me in years? Was it because deep down I missed being seen? I avoided him the rest of the day by cleaning and running errands. That night, I barely spoke at dinner. Ethan wasn't paying attention because he was too busy telling a story about his professor's pet parrot that could apparently curse in 4 languages. Later that night, Tyler knocked on my door. I opened it and was surprised to see him standing there. "I'm not trying to bug you. I just wanted to say I meant what I said, but I'll respect your boundaries. Thank you." I told her good night. Tyler gave me a soft smile and walked away. The next morning, I noticed a change. He was polite but detached, gone with the flirty looks and lingering presence, and that made me feel something strange. I didn't want him to cross a line, but I also didn't want to feel invisible again. That night, I stood in the doorway of the guest room, and Tyler was sitting on the bed, scrolling through his phone. I told him I couldn't sleep, and he looked up at me. We didn't say much more. I sat down next to him, and we were silent for a moment. He told me I wasn't lying, but I'll understand if we never talk about it again. "I've been alone for a long time," I said softly. "I don't know what any of this means, so let's not label it," he replied. "Let's just talk like two people." So we did. We talked for hours about music books, his youth and my time as a teacher. When Ethan got home from his late-night hangout, I had already left the room. The rest of the week went by in a strange, calm way. Tyler never crossed any lines or said anything inappropriate, but I could tell he was interested in me by the way he looked at me. Gentle, respectful, and interested. When it was time for them to go back to college, he hugged me tightly and whispered, "Take care of yourself, Rachel." I replied, "You too." After they left, the house felt empty, and I sat on the couch and thought about everything that had happened. Nothing really happened in the traditional sense, but emotionally something changed. Something woke up inside me. A few days later, I got a message on my phone. "Tyler, I just wanted to let you know that I'm thinking about you and hope all is well with you." I look at the message for a long time before typing back, "I'm fine, thanks for seeing me." I have no idea what the future holds, but I do know that sometimes the strangest people remind us of who we are and who we could be. That weekend, my son's friend did just that. You won't believe it, but I